Okay, so here is the board work problem. So pause it and work on it, and then start it back up to check your answer. Okay, so we're back. So this says put in slope-intercept form and graph. And we have this linear equation. Now sometimes these are a little tricky when there's no coefficient at all. Nothing times the x or the y, so the coefficient is 1, right? So putting this in slope-intercept form is actually pretty simple when we don't make it harder than it is. We want to get y by itself, and then it will be in slope-intercept form. So here's our equation. Just rewrite it. We're going to subtract x from both sides so that y will be by itself. Okay, so on the left we have y, and on the right we will write the x term first, that negative x right next to the equal sign, and we also have minus 2. Now we have y on the left side, so that is in slope-intercept form, and we can use that to graph it. We just have to make sure we pick out the slope and the intercept, and we could rewrite this as negative 1x, right, minus 2. So let's just write down here to make sure it's all clear. M is negative 1, B is negative 2. You don't have to write that down unless you are asked to do that on a quiz. It might say, put it in slope-intercept form, and what is the slope, and what is the intercept, and you do have to go ahead and identify it. But for this one, I just did that to help us to graph it. So we have our point. B is negative 2, so our y-intercept is negative 2. It goes, so we have that point, and now the slope is negative 1. That means rise over run equals negative 1, and we can put the negative sign on either one, and we're going to write 1 as 1 over 1 because we want to have a rise and a run. Okay, so this, of course, when we write negative 1 over 1, that does equal negative 1, but we're writing it as a fraction. Our numerator is negative, so the rise is negative, so we go down 1, and then the run is positive. So from there, after going down 1, we go over 1. And that's our 2 points. Sometimes people like to go ahead and go down 1 over 1 a couple more times. Once or twice more, just to make it maybe easier to draw the line. Okay, and then, boy, I was going good and I went curvy. Do I dare start all over? It might be worse this time. Yeah, I think it is, but that's okay. Well, one more time. Okay, probably the worst of all, but we'll go with it. We'll make that end better. Okay. So that's another example of putting something in y-intercept form and then graphing.